Good morning, YouTube. It's Wednesday, and we're doing a bonus project because I said we would do it. And what were we doing? Trying to clear out the garage. We got a bunch of scrap wood, but that's not the main theme. We have leftover project stuff from both Easter and St. Patrick's Day that I was going to do some bowls with. Never got around to it, and I thought, you know what? Let's put this together. Let's make it a small project, and let's do it on a Wednesday as a bonus episode. So that's what we got here. We got these cool, sparkly little gem things. These came out in Easter time. Had planned on putting it in a bowl, but after my St. Patrick's Day project that I did the first time, if you go back and watch that video, that didn't turn out exactly the way I had planned. So I imagined the same thing was going to happen to these, so I wasn't too inclined to do them. But just like everything else, you got to give things a second try before you just completely abandon them. So have this small little plastic bowl here. It's about 500 milliliters. Put in the Easter beads first, and now we're going to hit it with the shamrocks. Forgot what those were called for a minute. Anyway, so we're going to just mix those up really well. Put all the little bits back in the bowl. Going to hit it with East Coast resin. Put it in the pressure pot for 4.5 hours, and this is what we got out of it. And of course, put the pancake on top so we can put the faceplate on. And it looks pretty cool. I'm thinking, okay, it's sparkly, it's shiny, it's, aesthetically pleasing. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. So I'm like, okay, we're going to get this done fairly quick. Small, easy, nice little project. Nothing too complicated, nothing too difficult. And it looks really nice. But like my St. Patrick's Day project, I imagined it was going to turn out the same way. So as well as it looked in the epoxy without turning it first, I really thought this was going to be a disaster. But let me tell you, the end is totally worth it because it came out really, really nice. So here we are. We got the waist block on and the faceplate. And if you guys have been watching the past couple of videos, these are some of the last projects that I've been doing in the garage. Right now, as I'm doing this commentary, my garage is completely packed up and we are moving into my new house. So here we are getting this, superficial layer off like we do with all of our other projects. I gotta say, my camera work on this video was particularly good. And I don't know why, because I'm doing this in the dark in the middle of the night, and usually my work is a little bit more shoddy, but this one actually turned out really well. Nice zoomed in right here. You can really see the good shavings coming off, getting that superficial layer off, like I said, using the gouge versus the round carbide tool, even though I come back, hit it with both just to get everything nice and even, obviously. And I'm not having any issues with it, which is super surprising. It's good to know that this is like actually the second to last project that I ever did in this garage. So this one went pretty well. Not a lot of issues. So got the rounded bottom done. Now we're just making the mortise and trying to make it just large enough to where we can put a chuck in there, because what you don't want to do is make the mortise too large to where it expands on the chuck jaws and then it ends up breaking. So here, sized it up a little bit, got to make it a little bit wider so we can get that reversed on there, and getting really beautiful shavings using the smaller square carbide tool. So once we got that done, now we got to get this superficial layer off. Popped off the actual waist block. If you saw that a little bit earlier, now we're just taking the pancake and getting that all nice and done. Sorry for the camera work on here, even though I just complimented myself. Once you get those little dangly strings, the camera tends to focus on those. So got this all nice, done, and rounded off. Now we're just getting rid of that waist block as the camera focuses in and out all of the time. So once we did that, then we came back and hit it with both the round and square carbide tool a little bit later on this one. And the gouging part went really easy using pine for the middle portion of it, as you saw earlier in the video. And I ended up taking the parting tool to get rid of a lot of that pine. It's so small that I really didn't have any kind of real difficulty getting the actual waist block taken care of. I should have used that more often. I like using the smaller tools for these smaller bowl projects. But once we got to this point, getting good depth, I was actually really hesitant on the lip of this bowl. I went back and forth debating, if we need to get the lip of the bowl a little bit thicker, a little bit thinner, but I was not happy with it. So I ended up coming back and actually gouging out the side with a square carbide tool a couple of different times, because I just couldn't get the right thickness, and there was a little bit of inconsistency on the lip edge of the actual bowl, so I kind of went back and forth. And I am notorious for sometimes going back to a project and refining it and having it explode on the lathe. So thank God that didn't happen on this one. And you know what, working through that plastic material, I really didn't have a lot of issue with that either. I would think that with all those little beads and jewels and things that I would get a lot of chatter on the chisels, but I really didn't. So here we are a little bit later. Now we got everything, you know, gouged out the way we like. All the ribbons are done, and this is pretty much the end of the project here. Now we're going to get down to the sanding portion of it. And as you'll see here, this, I initially thought I was done. I initially thought that was the thickness that I wanted, but just like with my OCD that I have, I had to go back and do it again because I wasn't happy with it. So I ended up going back, taking care of the lip of the bowl a little bit. There was a small little chip that we had to fix, and I'm a perfectionist and had to go back and do it again. And I was really just clinching, really worried that I was going to get some explosion once I started to actually gouge out the side of it. And there you can see me with a round carbide tool, and you can actually see us taking off material on the inner portion of the bowl. I was super concerned that this wasn't going to work out, but it did. Eventually we got it to a nice depth and nice size on the lip of the bowl, and came and hit it with the sanding, going from 340 all the way to 1500, and then coming back and hitting it with the micro mesh and some wet sanding. So once we got to this part, then we just came back, finished it. You can already tell fantastic colors that we're getting off of this. Looks absolutely gorgeous, and you'll see here in just a little bit. Boom. Now we're hitting it with that wood wax that I love so much. Not bad for a bonus video project. I really liked making these. Again, I'll be at work while you guys are watching these videos, but hope everybody's liking them. I'll be moving into the new garage and the new workspace. I already have got some work stuff coming up that I'm going to have to deal with a little bit later in the year, so I hope that things work out to where I can still put out videos every week. And like I said, I have videos planned all the way up until January of 2022, so don't worry there. But bam, here's the end project. Looks absolutely amazing. Turned out way better than my St. Patrick's Day bowl that we did this year. Absolutely gorgeous. Love the way the sparkles and the gems just kind of flicker everywhere. I might have to do this bowl in a larger version. That's why I like doing the smaller ones, because I always come back and think, you know what, we got to do this bigger. So hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys got something out of it. Hope you guys are enjoying these bonus videos that I'm putting out. But this one absolutely turned out great. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next project. Peace. Good morning. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. I think it's the 27th of July. Yeah, it is the 27th of July. And this little project is done. And I will have to admit, this came out a lot cooler than I thought it was. These sparkly little gems looking really cool in this epoxy, and these like 4-leaf clovers that I had left over from both Easter and St. Patrick's Day. Wow, that turned out really good. For a scrap project, this is one of the better ones. I really thought it was going to chip out, really thought it was going to fly off the lathe, I was going to have a lot of shrapnel, but wow, I wish you could kind of see it. It's kind of hard with the light and everything, but it turned out really well. And you guys are watching this as I'm on my 2 weeks of constant work with no break, getting that all done and taken care of. This is one of the last projects I'm doing in this space. Like I said in the week prior video, this is a bonus video that you guys are going to be watching. And when I come back, I'll be moved into my new house, and I'll have a new space to do projects in. But wow, this looks really, really cool. So again, we are nearing toward the end. This is one of the last projects I'm doing. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys like the project. Little simple little bowl. Looks really, really cool. All right, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next project. All right, peace.